right, we're back covering our real Ghostbusters look for the figures from Kenner, and we're on to Wave 3. The big thing here on Wave 3, as you can see on the card back, is the Fright Features characters. Really odd name, I never understood that. For I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost, you have a character called Fright Features. So I guess they're afraid of how unafraid they are of ghosts. But these were a really cool interactive set of characters. Some of the more, I think, iconic figures in the line. Still to this day, fans endure and love these ones. And the Classics collection from Hasbro remade these as well. The mechanics on them broke a lot, so it's kind of cool to get these again. But there was a line of the 4 heroes, and yes, there was a Janine as well, but she was not in this wave. She came out in the next wave, so she missed the release in this wave. The other thing from the hero side was this awesome Firehouse. So we'll be checking out the only playset in the line, which kind of was one and done. I mean, it really captured the whole look, and I think it was one of the best playsets of the time period as well. Of course, there's ghosts in the line, and then there's roleplay. We'll get into those in subsequent segments. But for right now, we want to check out these awesome Fright Features characters. I want to start with Ray because of the 4, he's held up the best over the years. Now he has a different weapon instead of a proton stream. He's got this little grabber thing that fits on his wrist. You can see he's wearing a different outfit. He's got the shirt open here with the logo on. And his Fright Features, you squeeze the hand and his ears pop out. His eyes look like they're getting bigger. The goggles on his head lift up with the hair. So cool little dynamic there for the character. Of course, he could sit, he could do all that kind of stuff. And he comes with the Jail Jaw Ghost, which I think is a pretty cool ghost. And you'll see this ghost multiple times throughout the series here. He comes back in the Ghost Trap as the ghost that comes along with the role-playing accessory. This version glows in the dark. And then he comes back in the Ecto Glow Wave. This version also glows in the dark, but you could tell the difference here between the two. He's got the dark blue eyes. And he's a completely different tone than this one here. This was a more yellowish tone. This is a whiter tone. So yeah, there's a big difference here between these two. Now online, you'll see people selling this one claiming that it's the Ecto Glow one. Now they're either ignorant of the differences or they're trying to take advantage of your ignorance by trying to sell it at a massive markup. This is pretty common. This is frequently found everywhere. You shouldn't pay more than $20, $25 for it. This is less common. This comes with the Ecto Glow figure. It's going to be more. Some people might charge upwards of $100, but it's less common. So don't pay Ecto Glow prices for this one. Don't be tricked. This is the Ecto Glow one. This one will come up less frequently. So this one came with the Ghost Trap. We'll get to it when we get to that accessory. But for now, this is our Jail Jaw that comes with this Ray, and he can hold him in his little, not blaster, but like I don't know, grabber or something like that. You can put it through there and hold your little Jail Jaw Ghost. So that is our Ray stance. The next one up I have is Peter Venkman here. He also has some kind of weird little hook thing for grabbing a ghost, which works out for his little ghost here. It's called Gruesome Twosome, so he could grab these two here. He could wear it like a little boa on top of his head. Now his Fright Feature, his hair pops up, his eyes bulge out, his mouth opens. So again, a lot of movement on the hair on these guys. So completely different outfit for Peter here again. They changed up the outfits going into this wave. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, interesting again on the hair. Egon here, he's one of the harder ones to get in good condition because this tie kept breaking. It's not molded onto him. It's a separate piece. He comes again with a little grabber here with a handle on it. And it's kind of appropriate how narrow it is because he comes with this long neck ghost here that you could, push into here and have him grab it like that. Again, you're going to have to push it onto his hand here. But you can see his Fright Feature, the head goes up, the tie goes up, and the mouth opens. And this tie, like I said, keeps breaking. So it's hard to find samples online of previous figures where the tie is still intact. Like I even broke the one of my ties, so I had to find a new one to show you guys. But yeah, so these, like I said, these have re-released in the Hasbro Classics, so you can get these now. You don't have to pay a ridiculous amount of money to get this style of the figure. If you want the vintage ones, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. They're harder to track down, but that's essentially this tie. Really hard to find intact on this figure. Last one we have is Winston. with his little hammer thing, which I guess it works. It fits the ghost that he comes with. The ghost also can sit on his head. So this was an odd little ghost that came with him and his little hammer thing, and he has his outfit. This one is also tricky to track down because the mechanic in it breaks frequently. So the head, as you can see, lifts. I'll do it slow. He spins full 360. Mouth drops open and the neck stretches out, and then it comes back into position. Most people's heads only go halfway around or go the whole way around, or the head just doesn't land back where it's supposed to. This is how it's supposed to function. So this is a vintage one. Very hard to find with that mechanism because it does break down, and you can see sometimes it doesn't go all the way around. Well, it does there. So really hard to find a really good functioning one of the vintage one. You know it's vintage to say Columbia Pictures in 1984, I think, on the back, or this one says 1987. So that's how you know it's a original and not the modern version. Same with the Ghost, it will be stamped that way. But yeah, so that was essentially the Fright Features line. Interesting, they changed all the uniforms on these guys, completely new look for them. They gave them new little buddy ghosts to go with them to capture, and they had fun little ways of displaying these ghosts with these guys as well. But that is your look of the four. We'll get into Janine in the next wave because she did not come out in wave 3. But let's check out that awesome Firehouse. Going to be hard to show this one up close just because it's so massive. You can see it's quite tall, but it has a nice display of the front of the Firehouse and the side of the Firehouse. They have those walls on there. You can see the sign out in the front. You have the doors, which I love the doors because if you have the Ecto with them, you can do this feature where you burst out just like in the show, or it just busts right through the door. So it's a great little action feature for the Firehouse here and the doors. And then of course we have the inside. So you can see some books in there. There's some busts of other ghost characters or different little elements to make it look a little lived in. You have these railings, of course, to keep characters from falling over. And then you have these little holes that extend throughout the, maybe I could tilt it here so you can see it. Little holes that extend throughout the playset. Now this is so you pour slime on the top, it drips down through this layer, drips down through this layer, all the way down to the bottom. So you would get slime everywhere. And that was sort of one of the cool features of it. Although it became annoying to clean out after a while. I got most of it. I could still see little bits of slime stuck in this thing from over the years. The other interesting feature, and it was essential, is the fire pole. So you would put your guys here on this little platform, essentially, and lean them forward like they're grabbing the pole. You'd flick the switch here, and then they would rotate all the way down the fire pole. Absolutely loved that feature as a kid. Very simple mechanic. The switch just kind of pushes it onto the latch here so it doesn't fall down. But that is essentially one of the major play features of this set, and it was essential because it captured the fire pole use from the film that we see in the show as well. But yeah, I mean, they had some nice detail on here. There's little grain on the floors. You could see some machinery in the bottom floor there. The other interesting dynamic was it came with this containment unit. Now the containment unit was 2 parts. So you would take a ghost, put it in this trap-like part, close it. Then you would put this on top of here, I believe. Something like this. Or is it this way? Yeah, it went this way. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have it backwards. So you would put it on top of this, like this. You would extend the trap back. You would push the trap forward, and then it would be out of the trap and into the containment unit. So fun little dynamic. And then you would have to fish it out. But you could do that with a lot of the smaller ghosts. Obviously, you couldn't do it with the bigger ghosts. But, I mean, it's very simple how it works. It would just catch on here, catch on the back end, and then drop in as you did that with a very nice little dynamic that made you feel like you were adding ghosts into your containment unit. Now, this would just be on the side. There's no real room for it if you had the Ecto in there, obviously. So you'd have to kind of just display it somewhere else. But it was a pretty nice look. It captured the on-screen look from the show as well. But yeah, I mean, that was essentially it. There's no peg stands other than like just these 2 here. So you really just have to kind of balance your characters, which is odd because a lot of playsets back then had peg stands. But it's a nice way to display. You could even park your Ecto 2, which we'll get into soon, up here in the top, and then have a nice little display for your figures, your vehicles, etc. All right, so this was Wave 3, our heroes in our playset here, essentially the Firehouse. We're going to have other things here. There are ghosts. There's more of those ectoplasm ghosts. I will show you all of them this time. There's no variants on these ones, so it's a little different. And then we have a very awesome role play element. It's the Proton Pack, so we'll get into that segment as well. So we'll have more this month on our Real Ghostbusters, and then we'll get into Wave 4 next month, so very exciting. But this wave was one of the cooler waves in the line, probably one of the more iconic waves. Everyone knows about the Fright Features characters, and they kind of extended into, it was just 2 years ago, maybe, when they brought them back in the Classics line, when Hasbro brought them back. So hopefully we'll see more in the Classics line, but this was an awesome, iconic playset from the late 80s here, and still to this day, it's one of the most beloved Ghostbusters playsets for fans. They haven't really made this again, the Firehouse. So maybe they'll bring it back in the classic line. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do playsets, but it would be really cool. But it's quite common to find this around. Not super expensive to get it used and in decent condition. You might have to find some of the other parts separately, but it's held up pretty well over the years. It's pretty sturdy. Not easy to break down, so you're going to probably have to get it assembled because I don't think these come apart after you assemble them. But yeah, I mean, this was a huge element for the collection. Everyone that was collecting back then probably had the Firehouse. But these guys, they started changing a lot after Wave 1. Completely different outfits each time, completely different features. So we'll be seeing other iterations of the core 4 here as we move on. That is all for this time. Tune back for more of your Real Ghostbusters coverage and the anniversary year celebration we're having. And we're going to see some really awesome things as we move on toward the all 10 waves. So that's all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you guys next time.